Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here, Golden Opportunities Coaching. Today, we're going to talk about telltale signs when you're trying to figure out the character of a person. And certainly, this is helpful for the dating world, the professional world. Telltale signs about personal level of character is useful in about every social interaction, and with us meeting new people almost on a daily or weekly basis for some of us, having some aces in the hole about telltale signs regarding a person's personal character can be useful. Body language is the easiest way. There are people who believe that 65 to 70% of communication is all done through body language. So a person who is standing forward is more likely to be, nervous and ready to walk away. Crossed arms mean frustration. A furrowed brow means confusion. Clenched fists and other forms of tension mean anger. A smile means happiness. Frown means sadness. I mean, there's literally hundreds of these, but the idea is you can tell a person's emotional state and secure state based on how they change, based on how the conversation changes. In other words, if a person is an angry person, they're going to have certain telltale body language signs. If a person is a happy person, the same will apply. The next is, not that it's a good idea to stalk people, but their online profile. And just to be clear, many people struggle with maintaining a singular identity online, and that's why you see people pop up with accounts on multiple networks. It's also why you see people with many accounts on one network. Person will show their preferences by the things they choose to follow or pay attention to, tweet, retweet, post, whatever. And when they're posting other people's stuff, they're saying, this thing, this movie, this song is like me and I identify with it. Their personal text or the things they say really have a lot to do with how much of themselves they're willing to share, but also their core values and opinions of themselves and the world around them. You can tell a lot by the clothing a person wears. Now, a person who is in jeans and a t-shirt, probably very casual, relaxing, and whatever. People wearing dresses and pastel colors, more likely to be light, airy, and somewhat feminine or softer. A person who is consumed with having the richest of clothing, the best of clothing, they are very image-conscious individuals and care more about how they're seen than how they feel. And so there's a million ways that we can use visual indicators such as clothing and body language to determine the type of person that a person is. Music choice and entertainment choice. So a person who listens to a lot of comedy is probably looking for levity in their life. A person who is looking at whodunit mysteries on television, probably looking for problems to solve or things to keep them intrigued. They may have difficulty staying intrigued with simpler conversations. Music is a great teller too. A person who listens to a lot of, let's say, easy listening music is probably looking for laid-back social interactions with as minimal conflict as possible. A person who listens to a lot of love songs, obviously, has a very idealistic view of the world, whereas a person who is listening to, for example, heavy metal and a lot of screamo probably has some anger and frustration-related challenges. So music can be a good indicator, especially lyrics can be a good indicator of the emotional state, but also the focal point of the person who is listening. A great one that I love is how a person treats strangers. There's various people that have done this test over the year, but if you really want to know a person's character, watch how they treat the first 5 strangers that they interact with in your presence. Be they a waiter, be they a person crossing the street, be they just someone that could be attractive or whatever. Now, if you are looking for a quality person, they're going to speak kindly. Their body language is going to be softer. They're going to smile. They're going to make eye contact. They're going to do a lot of things that are inviting. But a person who has anger issues or control issues, they're going to be demanding of the person. So If you see someone who treats you well, but doesn't treat the car parking attendant or the waiter or the maid or D well, chances are they only are treating you well to get something from you, and their focus is on image when it comes to you. They don't necessarily link that their image has to carry through all that they do. Level of eye contact is the next thing on this list. A person who makes a lot of eye contact is looking for emotional and or physical connection. A person who will make eye contact and then dart away when they realize that you know they are, probably has some anxiety or just nervousness issues. A person with wide eyes is really intrigued and excited. Person with narrowed eyes may be suspicious. So the shape and duration of gaze are things to look at if you're trying to figure people out. And then random acts of kindness. So there's a test that says how many times does a stranger hold the door for someone else? Do they put the cart away when they go shopping? These are things that you don't have to do, but they're kindnesses. And if a person is actively kind to strangers, if a person is consistently kind to people they do not know and can get nothing from, it's part of their character. Whereas if a person leaves the cart in the middle of the parking lot, or will let the old lady let the door slam in her face, probably a person who's driven by achievement rather than kindness. So these are useful things to identify how to determine the quality of person you're dealing with. Obviously, people can fake these things out, but having some degree of knowledge of these things can be helpful when trying to assess how deeply emotionally invested to become in a new person, professionally or personally in your life. So until next time, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.